Hi everyone, it is dawn of the new era here. Loving my filter. Um, whew. Let's all take a deep breath together, shall we? I like to do in through my nose and out through my mouth. And I want to tell you, one of my favorite breaths. There's lots of ways you can breathe to calm yourself or to activate or to ground. And when I tapped in for this month, it was definitely don't do any kind of breath of fire, igniting breaths, but more of a balancing breath, right? So balancing is closing one nostril, then taking your finger, closing the other one, breathing out, and then fully breathing in before closing that nostril. Hi Beth, hi Stephanie. So I don't know what that breath's called. I forget. I call every breath a Ujjayi breath, but that's not correct. But that breath really came through as one that you can do. It's called alternate nostril breathing, that you can do in order to sustain some balance, right? Because I know everyone listening right now is an empath. You're all empaths. And so you really need tools right now. Even if you're in your own little bubble and you're not taking on the world stuff, you're still feeling everything. And so a lot of you, like Stephanie's taken my courses and my mentorship 2 times. She knows, that I highly advocate for this year and the upcoming years, some pink flower Bach remedy. This just puts like a pink shield so that you're not feeling everybody's stuff. And then there's another herb called Devil's Club. Don't be scared by the word, but Devil's Club. And it puts a real, like a real fierce shield. So like if you're feeling too much, you're having all these crazy dreams that aren't yours, boom. So we're obviously, this month is different than other months. I mean, this is a very big day. It's a very big time in history. My teacher calls it the great sorting. We're in an ultimate polarity divide, right? The left, the right, the up, the down, the right, the wrong, the And I've been telling everyone, find your in-between space, because if you go too far in either direction, you're not getting the karma, you're not getting the dharma of these times. So when I pulled, I've got my little essential oil. Who here is like, oh, I need my essential oils like, all day long? Lavender, by the way, classic. Classic, never goes out of style. So I asked, what is the theme of November? And what I got was confidence, the confidence card. So a lot of us are losing confidence. Many of you are on phase 2, 3, even though grief isn't linear of this year, I mean, we lost so much this year. And so some of you are starting to sink into the sadness part of grief, the anger, and the negotiating. Those are the 3 top ones that's coming through as, we started out in shock. Let's just face it. March, it was shock. But now people are starting to feel more powerless. And so confidence is coming through. And I gotta tell you, I really like the spread for this month. I asked, so what's the general overall feeling for this month? And it was afraid. Afraid for our safety, afraid for our well-being. And I asked, so what's the solution to that, Spirit? And what I got was courage. The courage card. I love this old man. He's got, I believe, hawk. He has hawk on his head and a white horse at his chest. He's got the sun and the moon. And this is actually a Native American spirit. And, courage is not being afraid. It's being afraid and finding a way to have hope anyways, right? And it could be in the real, I dropped the courage card. It could be in the real little things, It could be, it has to be in the real little things. You have to take time this month to stay off your phone. Even if you have to set a timer, like 10 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, whatever feels right for you, to get off your phone and get into your body and to process things. Because what I'm noticing, and I'm doing it too at times, is like wanting to go to Marco Polo and then Instagram and then Facebook and wanting to talk and figure things out. And what's happening is you're not giving yourself a chance to process. And so processing will be really big in November. It's going to give you more confidence. Because if you believe in yourself and your little community, your family and your community around you, then you can have confidence that things will be okay. And when I say okay, I don't mean that bad things don't happen, right? Like there's a big thing in certain spiritual evasion and different communities where they're like, well, I'm on the good side, so everything's gonna be okay. Or if I do this, it's not. Life is. The Bodhisattva says we are of the nature to get ill. We are of the nature to suffer. These are the things, this is just the human experience, suffering. But we don't have to do it alone, right? And so community is going to be huge, and not online community. I'm talking like finding a way, whether it's through phone or social distancing or some way for you to connect with at least one person in your life in person. Okay, so the overall feeling is fear. It is being in fear this month. So I asked, what's the solution for that? And I had a chuckle. It was beauty and aesthetics. Now that can sound really superficial, but honestly, like we are spiritual beings, but we're in these we're in these human meat suits, right? We're in our human experience, and beauty really does make a difference. I can't tell you how many times during COVID I had my days in my pajamas, didn't wash my hair, no makeup, and I watched my daughter actually get up and just like do full-on makeup and dress up, and I was like, I wonder what that feels like. Well, I did it, and it actually feels good. Yes, Jessica's like beauty and aesthetics. That's one of the 47 universal human needs. So I'm not saying to, again, ignore your feelings and go on a shopping spree. I'm just saying where in your space, your current space, can you add something to beautify it, to comfort you? Maybe it's a fall candle. Who knows? All right, so we have a new earth. Here's the good news. We are formulating a new earth. I know everybody, wants America and the world to look a certain way. We want it to be, well, there's two trains of thoughts, right? There's the one that's like, I'm scared shitless of change. This is all I've ever known. I don't want any change, even if I don't want to see, I don't want to know. And then there's the people like me, visionaries, who see the future and that it's unsustainable unless we change. And so when I looked in, I'm going to tap in again because I got some visions for what changes will be coming to share with you. Before I do that, I do want to let you know that the guidance that came through for this month was keep holding a vision of what you want to happen. What do you want to happen, right? I live in a neighborhood where I see a lot of people suffering, and I think Spirit put me here for a reason. So I didn't, if I would have stayed in Clintonville, I'd been like, ooh, everything's fine. But no, I live in a part of town where I see deep suffering. I don't want that for them, right? I want everyone to have a chance. So keep holding a vision of what that looks like, right? What do we want for our children? What kind of schools, when schools reopen? What kind of education? We found out what works, what doesn't work. What do we want for our elderly, right? They're so isolated. They're so lonely. What kind of life is that? What do we want for them? What do we want for partnerships, for conscious relationships? What could that look like? And so take some time when you're setting your timer, you're off your phone, you're off TV, you're off social media, and take a moment. And I see Cyrus is on here, so, and Michael too. So people from my generation, we remember the times before phones. I don't know about you, but I would sit in my room, and if my phone with my cord wasn't a ring-a-ding-dinging, I was thinking. I was just sitting and thinking. I would think. What if I went here? What if I went to Mad River and skied? What if I da-da-da-da? So like, we have the potentiality to be co-creators in this universe. We can create and move mountains. But part of like the side effect, I love phones, I love social media, but part of the side effect of that is that we aren't using that part of our psyche. We're staying in that fear and afraid. So if you take a pause, and if you just go into envisioning what it would be like if you got your needs met, right, for connection, and you know, the brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It doesn't. It's really bizarre. The body doesn't know the difference. Have you ever, like, I got a call a couple weeks ago that my mom might be in the hospital. She wasn't. It was a fake news. It was an accident. 2020, what a bitch, right? But my whole body seized up. It didn't know, right? The reality was she wasn't there, but my body was seizing up. And that's kind of what's happening as you watch the news and things fluctuate, and as you're scrolling, your body's going, what? Is that true? And a little cute picture of a kitten isn't going to fix it, right? So get off, get into your mind, get into your body, do that breath practice that I taught you. And if that's too complicated, just breathing in goodness through your nose and breathing out the fear from your mouth. And let that envisioning that fear going out into the universe, into the ground to be recycled. So holding a vision for new earth, particularly what you want for the world, but what you want for yourself too. And then we've got the map maker of destiny. So he's coming in, and I'm hearing November 22nd. Let me look at my calendar. That's a Sunday. So it's like the third weekend of the month. It's very specific. So the 22nd through November 24th is going to be huge. So hang on tight until then. Lots of self-care. Lots of pink yarrow Bach remedy. It's $10 on Amazon. Just get it. Lots of lavender. Lots of breaks from social media. And what's going to happen on the 22nd is there is a destined thing coming through. So in life we have, right, as you raise kids, you've got like, well, I'm not going to go into that, but we have free will, and then there are some destiny things. I know, that's debatable. But what I've noticed from doing psychic readings for people for many years is that that is true. You have these different paths and choices. And everyone listening today, you are going to have a choice. You have a choice to make, okay? And you have taken this time to raise your vibration by visualizing what you want. It also allows you to become inspired. So through prayer, meditation, breathing, you get a chance to connect with spirit, to be in spirit, inspired. One of my favorite little things there. So again, I'm going to check in for any last messages. You know, what I saw, the vision of what I saw was this ocean waves coming and just like enveloping everyone. And if you don't have your life raft set up, that's what the next, you know, if you haven't already, the next couple weeks, get your life raft. And that could be making sure you have a connection buddy, making your environment more beautiful, maybe beautifying and really caring for your body temple, not in a like, I have to do this in order to be loved way. Because you know I've been doing these live feeds sometimes with no makeup. I'm like, you know what, here I am. Rock me like a hurricane. Don't care what you think. But I have the people that love me, thank goodness. So what's going on? What can I offer for this month? So I just finished up my mentorship. I just finished up the New Era Academy. I'm only running that once this year because this year is so intense, but I do offer half-hour empathy, phone calls, psychic readings, intuitive counsel. I am a licensed registered minister, so I can offer that kind of support and connection from spirit. I'm chomping at the bits. I've got this download for a new course, but I'm trying to like breathe because Spirit's told me this month is about rest, digest, process, be kind to yourself, be kind to one another. And when those ocean waves are coming and you feel like you're just on that mini lifeboat, reach out Reach out, not online, reach out through the phone, or reach out to a neighbor. Hi neighbor, over on the porch, and get some real contact, okay? Some one-on-one contact. That is much needed. I know here in Columbus, Ohio, NVC, Nonviolent Communication here, is doing free empathy calls on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you can Google that. Any last thoughts, Spirit? Anything that anyone needs to know? Does anyone have any questions? Anything that they want to know about that I can tap into psychically about this year, about this week, even about the election? I'm open to it. Spirit says there's no one coming to save us. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. Please remember that you're being upgraded spiritually, and that in order to receive the downloads and the upgrades of your heart and the clearing of your mind, you must take space to be in the nothingness, the silence. I'll leave you with this. I never will forget, years ago, I've spent a lot of time, and I share this story on my New Era Awakenings podcast on Spotify and on Apple. It's on a couple different things, and I do that for free, right? Ain't nobody getting paying me to do this podcast, but I want to share that there was a time when when I'm pushing down my feelings, right? And it's kind of happening again, loneliness for me. And I remember a teacher telling me, well, why don't you just sit with the loneliness? I was like, sit with it now. I've got to binge watch some shows. And at the time I smoked sacred tobacco. I have to smoke some cigarettes, and I ain't got time to sit with my loneliness. But it became, the fear, I think, is going to become so overwhelming for some of you, and the intense emotions, that you're going to have to just click everything off, sit on the floor, get a cushion, sit cross-legged or sit in your chair, do the breaths, and just say, come on. This is what I did with the loneliness. I was like, fine, come on, bring it, loneliness. If you're going to kill me, because it was so intense. And you know what I was met with? This really sweet voice, not a real voice, but just this inner knowing of, thank you. You're finally going to sit with me. And I'm telling you what, that loneliness dissipated really quickly. And so you can also do that with any uncomfortable emotion, right? Just sit with it and then ask it what it means. And know that even though this is a rough month, and even though, I'll do an energy report for December too, but even though this month is actually going to be very healing, this is a precipice, a time, a pause for you to go into your own world and shut out the outside world, not in a negative way, but in a way to really reflect and process grief and fear and trauma. I'm here to support you. Reach out if you need me. And thanks for listening. Much love, many blessings.